Hi, my name is Zoe Eisenberg. I am a filmmaker based out of Hawaii and the writer-director of Cashback. Since this is a recorded Q&A, I'm going to say the questions and then my answers, so I hope that's okay. So first off, what was the inspiration for this story? I was actually inspired to shoot this when a local actress I'd been hoping to work with, Grace Scanlon, became unexpectedly pregnant with her first child. So I was really excited to write a role for a young pregnant woman played by an actual young pregnant woman. As a woman in my 30s, all of my friends are having children, and I'm very aware of the shift happening between us as we sort of move into these different stages of our lives. And I really wanted to reflect that sort of bittersweet feeling in the film. At the time of writing, I was actually financing for a larger project and very frustrated with that process. So the idea of stumbling on a secret stash of cash was very appealing for me as an inciting incident, but it also offered a sort of clear moral dilemma for the characters to explore. One that I found more interesting in the height of such a large change between them, Kenzie leaving and Misha, her friend, staying. I had intimate access to the Hilo Palace Theater because I've directed and produced several stage shows there. I thought it would be an iconic location for the film. What modifications did you make as a result of the pandemic? So the pandemic hit 3 weeks before we were supposed to shoot, so a lot changed. First, it became unsafe for us to shoot. Grace was 8 months pregnant, so we had to postpone. And Grace actually had her daughter Hadassah before we could film, so I had to get a prosthetic belly for her to wear. But I still felt like her pregnancy was very present. Hadassah was there on set some days, so it was still very much front and center. And then also, as I had planned to shoot the first few scenes during an actual live event, because the theater was originally opened, I kind of wanted to steal production value there. So that opportunity went away when the theater went dark. But that said, the dark theater actually made it easier to shoot because nothing was going on there, so we had a lot more flexibility in terms of timeline, which was nice. Next question is, I love the warm quality of the lighting and colors in your film. Could you talk a bit more about your visual choices? So my visual choices in the film were definitely inspired by the theater itself. We did some minor production design, but mostly we just tried to amplify the rich colors and values that were already there in the theater. In the auditorium scene, for instance, when the women are playing their lost and found game, we use some of the theater's spotlights to amplify the dramatic setting. Next question, did you have a backstory for the character that left the money? Yeah, absolutely. I did have a backstory for her. So here in Hawaii where I live, there's a lot of people who don't really buy into the system or they don't trust the system, and they actually carry a large quantity of their possessions around with them. I have a friend out here who's a dreamer, and she carries about $5,000 on her person at all times. So the money that was in this bag was a lot more than that. It was about $20,000, but still something that could have been an unexpected windfall for Kenzie's character would have been devastating for Bree's character, the woman who lost her bag. Were the characters and their relationship what you envisioned when you first wrote the script? Yes and no. I really wanted to focus on two longtime coworkers who had become friends, and I wanted to explore them vying for what each thought was better for the other person. So I cast Grace as Misha first Grace as Kenzie first, because like I said, her pregnancy was an inspiration for the character. I then cast Kaya Balkan as Misha, which was hilarious because it turned out that Kaya is actually Grace's half-sister. I didn't know that when I reached out to them for casting. Kaya is a talented visual artist and Grace is a dancer and musician, and both of them have been involved in local productions. That's where I first saw them. But when I reached out to them, I had no idea they were related because they have different last names. Once the pandemic happened, I was really relieved that they were related because they were bubbled together, so it was a lot safer for them to shoot together. Oh, and Grace also performs the final song in the film, which I love. What sort of movements, if any, has your local community done to support the AAPI residents and businesses, and what is your community doing to support the entertainment industry? That's a great question. In addition to my own film work, I co-founded and run the Made in Hawaii Film Festival. So we exclusively showcase work shot in the state of Hawaii. Asian American and Pacific Islanders make up almost 70% of Hawaii's residents, so we strive to showcase their work and celebrate them both on and off the screen. I actually think this is a huge way we can combat anti-Asian rhetoric by normalizing Asian characters in both mainstream and independent cinema. If the audience would like to watch your film again or share with a friend, how can they view or purchase? So currently the film is not available anywhere. This is actually our festival premiere, which is exciting, but you can follow its progress by finding me on social media at Zoe Eisenberg, that's ZOEEISENBERG. And final question is, any upcoming projects you are currently working on? Yeah, I'm currently in development with a feature also set out of the Hilo Palace. So if you like the world of Cashback and you want to be involved in a feature set in the same world here in Hawaii, come on and find me. Thanks so much for having me. Bye.